why adding more people to a project usually makes it slower. It's a classic scenario. A project is behind schedule, so management says, let's throw more developers at it. Intuitively, more hands should get it done faster, right? In reality, seasoned devs often cringe at this. Let's recall Brooks' Law, which says adding manpower to a late software project makes it later. Let's talk about why adding more people to a project usually makes it slower, especially past a certain point, and what to do instead. We'll end with some advice on scaling teams effectively without falling into this trap. The communication overhead explosion. When a team is small, say 2 to 3 people, communication is pretty straightforward. You talk directly and everyone stays in sync. As you add 4 people, the number of communication channels increases dramatically. With 5 people, there are 10 lines of communication, and with 10 people, there are 45 channels. As you can see, team communication doesn't scale linearly. This means when team size grows, more time is spent coordinating, such as creating meetings, sharing status updates, clarifying misunderstandings, or merging everyone's work. Each dev might spend less time coding and more time talking and waiting. In effect, the productive output per person can drop as you add people. Onboarding and education takes time. When you add new developers to a project, the existing team has to divert time to onboard them, explain the architecture, get them set up, or review their early code more thoroughly. During this time, the original team members are effectively doing less coding themselves. If you add a bunch of people at once, senior devs might spend nearly all their time mentoring or integrating new folks, which temporarily reduces output. Eventually, the new folks ramp up, but by then, maybe the project deadline has passed. Also, new people often unintentionally introduce inefficiencies at first. Maybe they write code that doesn't fit the style and need refactoring, or they duplicate functionality out of ignorance of an existing module. Therefore, they sometimes add rework. It's not their fault. It's just hard to instantly slot into a complex project. The theory behind adding people is dividing the work. If you have 100 tasks and 5 people, add 5 more people and you can do twice as many tasks in parallel. But in software, tasks often aren't independent. Many times you can just slice a project into completely separate chunks without interaction. You end up with either people waiting on others, more integration bugs because different people code must work together, or tasks that one person could do in a week might take 2 people 3 to 4 days because they require more communication on how to integrate their work. In short, encoding certain complex algorithm or design task might best be done by one brain fully understanding it rather than many fragmented understandings. Trying to parallelize those could actually increase total effort. How to add people wisely? I'm not saying you should never grow teams. Sometimes you need more people for a larger scope, but to avoid making things slower, grow gradually and early. If you anticipate needing 10 devs, don't wait until late in the project to add them. Add them early, so ramp up and communication norms from when there's more schedule flexibility. Keep teams as small as possible. Could the project be rescoped so a smaller team can handle it? Or could the larger team be broken into smaller sub-teams working on well-decoupled models to minimize cross-communication? Instead of a single 10-person team, maybe 2 teams of 5 focusing on different services with a clear API between them. That way, each sub-team has a small team efficiency and the integration overhead is more structured. Improve processes and tooling. Sometimes a project is slow not for a lack of people but due to inefficient processes, poor build system, or lack of automated tests. Tackling those might be better than throwing bodies at the problem. Extend the timeline or cut scope. This is more project management, but if a project is behind, often the best solution is to negotiate a new deadline or trim features rather than a naive just add more dev solution. Use modular architecture. The more you can partition the system into independent modules, the easier it is to safely let different people work in parallel. This reduces the communication overhead because interfaces serve as a communication contract. Conclusion. Small is beautiful, so why does adding more people often slow things down? Because of the steep rise in communication overhead, the ramp-up cost, and the limited ability to parallelize certain work. If a project is late, think twice before adding people. It might feel proactive, but it could be counterproductive. Consider other solutions or accept that progress will initially slow while new folks get up to speed. In summary, Brooks' Law is a good heuristic. For projects this late, adding people will likely make it later. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something new today.